We have a loaded show to get to in just a second, but the season did come to a close after losing in 5 games to the Boston Celtics, and I want you guys to grade the Miami Heat 23-24 season. Go back to school. Do not hold back A, B, C, D, or F. I'm giving it an F. I'm just going to be completely honest here. When it came to the season, a lot of injuries. It never got off on the right foot after the Damian Lillard missed trade. It just had bad vibes throughout. Rozier trade, it looked good early and often, but then he got injured, didn't play in the postseason. Butler was hurt for a lot of the year. Herro was, and then you get eliminated in the first round of the playoffs in 5 games. This is an absolute failure of a season. I don't know if you guys agree. That's kind of how I feel right now, but we got a long offseason ahead of us with a lot of rumors, and we have to talk about some of them on today's show, so let's get started. All right, I am Nic Rohloff. This is the Heat Report by Chat Sports, and even though the season ended yesterday, we are not going anywhere, and we have to talk about some of the latest Miami Heat rumors because there is a lot of them, and I think we have to start off with this one. Do the Heat extend Jimmy Butler? Because a lot of new rumors and reports came out today about potentially extending Butler and how he is going to be seeking an extension this offseason, and my reaction to that is just this. 3 dots. I don't really know what to make of this. Listen, the Heat are going to have a lot of tough decisions to make when it comes to Jimmy Butler and this Heat roster with Herro, Rozier, Duncan Robinson, Caleb Martin. And it should be a no-brainer to extend Jimmy Butler, right? He's your best player. But when you take account into his age and what you have to pay him, I don't know if it is the best idea. We'll talk about it all here. But Anthony Chiang of the Miami Herald reported this today. Jimmy Butler, who turns 35 on September 14th, is expected to seek a maximum 2-year contract extension worth about $113 million from the Heat this offseason, according to a league source. I do think it's important to go back and look what Jimmy Butler's current contract is. He is under a contract for Miami next season for $48.8 million. All of it is guaranteed, by the way. And then 2025-26, he has a player option worth $52.4 million, and then he would be an unrestricted free agent in 26-27. But that player option is very intriguing, and I'll tell you why in just a second. Anthony coming here again saying this 2-year max extension would include salaries of $54.3 million for the 25-26 season, nearly a $2 million increase from what the player option would be, and $58.6 million for the 26-27 season when Butler will be 37 years old. So you might be confused about this 3-year extension, or 2-year extension, excuse me. Let me simplify for it. The player option in 25-26 would go away. That would no longer exist. The 2-year extension would start that year, so you have him under contract for the following season, and then you have him under contract for that 2-year extension in 25-26 and 26-27. So it would basically keep Jimmy in Miami guaranteed for the next 3 seasons, and then he would be an unrestricted free agent when he's 38 years old in the year of 27, 28. It's kind of wild to even think about and talk about that timetable here in general when it comes to sports and even just in life in general. We're going to talk more about Jimmy Butler, but I want to know, after hearing what Jimmy wants, what it would be in Miami's current roster situation, cap situation with Jimmy Butler. Would you extend number 22? Type Y for yes or type N for no. Butler just finished his 5th season as a member of the Miami Heat. 2019-20 obviously led Miami to the NBA Finals in year 1 in the 305, and he's been steady over the last 4 seasons. You see his numbers on screen right now. The issue I really have with Jimmy Butler and why I'm hesitant to give him this extension is because of the games played every single year. Like, he's not playing more than 65 games a season because of his injury history, rest history as well. But then you also take into account that he does not really give 100% effort in these regular season games. You just will never be a good regular season team when Jimmy Butler is your number 1 option in the regular season. Do I still believe that Jimmy, as a number 1 and a team leader in the postseason, can have success? Absolutely. And I do believe this would have been a different series if Jimmy was on the court for Miami. But the truth is, I'm not in the business of being in the play-in every single year. This team and this roster on paper has the talent, especially with this coaching staff, to be a top 5 team in the Eastern Conference without a question. The thing holding this team back is the fact that your star player doesn't want to play in half these regular season games. Even when he is on the court, he's not giving you full effort. And it's just tough to watch, and it's tough to be a fan and root for a team that doesn't give maximum effort in the regular season and just wants to give it all in the postseason. You have to at least meet me halfway and get a top 5 seed so we don't have to play in the play-in and have to play the top seed in the Eastern Conference in round 1 of the postseason. Because if you were a 6 seed, if you were a 5 seed, I would still probably take this Heat team to advance at least past the first round, even without Jimmy Butler. And just think about this. If you didn't have to play in the play-in, Jimmy wouldn't have got hurt, because that's when the injury happened. It's just tough. And I don't really know if you can extend him and give him that money when he doesn't give you anything in the regular season. But if you do extend him and he's a member of this team for the next 3 years guaranteed, you have to make a move that would be considered seismic and make a massive change to this locker room and roster to ensure there is another player here that can take the load and be the shoulder-bearing player of the regular season so Jimmy could go do his thing, and then Bam and said player would be able to carry in the regular season. It's going to be a tumultuous offseason for the Miami Heat like it was last season, and we will have you covered on everything surrounding Miami when it comes to the NBA draft. They do have pick 15. Trade rumors, they will be hot and heavy. D-Book, Kevin Durant, Donovan Mitchell, and more. Make sure you hit that sub button. We're just about 200 away from 11K. Let's get there ASAP. All right, next on the table today, trade Tyler Herro. Should Miami do it? Absolutely. And it really is just hard to justify Tyler remaining on this roster after everything we've seen over the last 5 seasons with his injury history and inability to perform in the postseason. I truly do believe Tyler Herro's last game in a Miami Heat uniform was last night against the Boston Celtics, and I think it stinks because I'm a big Herro guy. I wanted him to succeed more than anything else. I've told the story multiple times about how I got up and ran around my house in 2019 when Miami drafted him with the 14th overall pick. I thought he was going to be a dog, and he gave us great memories, and with that 14th overall pick, Herro has overachieved and overexceeded those expectations. But the truth is, if this Heat team wants to get to a championship winning team rather than a championship contending team, Herro might have to go. We'll talk more about that in just a second, but we do got to show some love to Prize Picks because even though the Heat season is over, they are not going anywhere, and you can still get in on the action with the postseason in the NBA and NHL with Prize Picks. Join more than 3 million members on the #1 daily fantasy sports app. All you do is pick more or less on 2 or more player stat projections. It's really that simple and easy. I play Prize Picks every day, and that won't change even though Miami is not playing no more. Tonight's action in the NBA, Jalen Brunson taking on the Sixers, and then you also have the Bucks and Pacers game. I got more than on 45.5 points, rebounds, assists for Jalen Brunson, more than 11 rebounds and assists for Miles Turner, and more than on 27.5 Tyrese Maxey points. He's absolutely balling. But Prize Picks says everything for every sports fan, whether it be basketball and hockey to League of Legends. They even got some Call of Duty out there as well. You can pick LeBron. Well, not anymore, but you can pick Caitlin Clark as she gets started up in the preseason of the WNBA this weekend. Connor McDavid, Jude Bellingham. You can have it all in the same entry. So get started today. Download the app and use code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100. Or hit that link in the description and comments, prizepicks.com/CLNS, and use code CLNS. Tyler Herro is who Tyler Herro is. There will not be a change. And if there was going to be a change in who he is as a player, you would have expected it to be this season. But he has battled injuries all year long. He finally was put into the starting lineup full time. And he just did not give you what you expected. He was fine in the regular season, but the same old story popped up again. And I get it. No Jimmy. No Terry. I get it. But he was once again an absolute no-show in 4 of the 5 playoff games that you played in 23-24 season. And that's really been the story of his entire career. Like, it really has. Like, you had an unbelievable playoff run if you are Tyler Herro as a rookie in 2019-20 when he was the second/third best player in that NBA Finals series alongside Jimmy Butler, and he was the fourth guy overall behind Bam and Goran Dragic. He was terrific. This is what made Heat fans think we had something special in Tyler Herro when he performed like he did in the bubble postseason. But if you go back to the stats, and we can flash it again, Tex, of the NBA playoffs of his career, they just have not been good, man. 2020, 21, 4 games played, that sweep against Milwaukee, atrocious. 9 points in that series while being inefficient as hell. Then, in the following year, he wins Sixth Man of the Year. We think he takes that next step. We hope he is that guy in the postseason like he was his rookie year. And he stinks it up again, shooting 23% from 3. Like, terrible. And then he gets hurt, obviously, in Game 1 of the postseason last season, so I didn't really want to mention that. And then this year, I like we said, no Jimmy, no Terry. He was the second man next to Bam. But once again, they asked him to be the guy to lead this offense with Bam as a duo, and he was unable to prove he can do that. The 16.8 points per game in this series, raw, looks fine, but when you watch the games, you look at the efficiency, you look at the amount of shots it took for him to get to that stat total of points, it just was not good, man. And I think it's just proven that Herro cannot be a leading force on a playoff contending team. He just can't handle the pressure. He can't. And the question is now is, what is Tyler Herro's trade value? Because if we are trading Tyler Herro, what are we getting back? I still do believe Tyler Herro would be worth a first-round pick. I do, because he's only 24. Is he 23 or 24? He's 23 or 24. He's young. He's a 20-point-per-game scorer. Who knows if he can improve? But there is a team out there that would send a first-round pick for Tyler Herro. There is. But I don't think you're getting anything more than that. And it might even be a protected first-round pick. So the question is he going to be a guy that can headline a trade package if you want to go big whale hunting for Donovan Mitchell, for Devin Booker? I doubt it, which is why you'd likely have to give up both Jaquez and Jovic alongside Herro in a deal for a superstar. It would be interesting to see what Pat Riley does this offseason, but I don't also know if Miami would trade Herro just to trade him, like to get a first-round pick or to get a couple role players. I tell you what, Pat Riley's got a tough decision to make, but we'll be here to cover it, and we'll be here to speculate and hypothesize throughout the offseason. You make the call, though, on Tyler Herro. Will 14 be on the Heat's roster next year? If you think he will still be on Miami, type on for on. If you think he's somewhere else, type off for off. Last rumor I want to hit on today's show is Caleb Martin gone? Did he play his final game in a Heat uniform? Once again, it is a resounding yes from me. He does have a player option for the 2024-25 season, but he is not going to opt into that deal. He is only making $7 million in the next season. He can make 13 on the open market. He'll get the full mid-level exception, and Miami just can't afford that. They can't. They're already in the first apron. I think they're over it by $5.8 million, and they're another $6 million away from reaching the second apron. So if you were to sign Caleb Martin to an extension, you would go into the second apron. Is Mickey Arison and Pat Riley willing to do that for a player of Caleb Martin's caliber? Based off what we've seen in the past, I severely doubt that. So I think Caleb Martin is as good as gone. I don't see him returning to the Miami Heat. And honestly, Caleb's done a lot of nice things. He was unbelievable in the last postseason, beating the Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals and helping us get to the NBA Finals. But sometimes he plays a very bad brand of basketball. Dumb, bad shots, turnovers. So I don't know. Like it's going to be a bummer to see Caleb leave. It's been nice to see him blossom in the 305 over the past couple seasons. But I'm actually all set on Caleb. I wouldn't bring him back because it's going to be a 3 for 35, 3 for 39 type of deal. And I don't even think I'd be willing to pay that if I'm Miami. He can have a good career somewhere else. Appreciate the memories, Caleb. All right, that's going to do it for today's video. Like I said, there's a lot to talk about. We didn't even really get into the nuts and bolts of trading for superstar players and Bam Adebayo extension. This is just the tip of the iceberg, folks. So hit that sub button and join us for a long offseason surrounding the Miami Heat. I'm Nic Rohloff. I'll see you in the next video. Go Heat.